All right. So an IGN, I guess, talking head said that Xbox was poised to win the next console war. I would not draw that conclusion, in my own opinion. However, his points were leaning more to the fact that there is content on Xbox, which they're probably going to use for the differential. Now, in my case, I don't think Xbox is even going to be too bothered. They'll make the hardware, no problem. But as long as the content keeps flowing, that's going to be their primary concern. Because with the content, they stay attractive. And sure, it may not necessarily be like this swooping win next generation in that regard, but it's going to solidify their position as probably the biggest publisher of games in the world. Add to that potential acquisitions and partnerships that they're going to be doing from now henceforth, because that's what's going to happen. Ninja Gaiden 4 is, in my opinion, a pilot program for looking at how they can continue to partner with developers, especially in the Japanese market, an area where things have been very challenging for them. Step by step, maybe they'll be able to, work with the Chinese market, maybe not. There are developers all over the place that probably want to work with Xbox to get their games out the door because they know that they can stay profitable. Some have already kind of gone ahead and done it. I guess I'll say, Wolong Fallen Dynasty was still Koei Tecmo, but Ninja Gaiden is a collaborated effort in that regard. Now, this has brought Reforge Gaming out to share some of his concerns on the matter. I want to listen to what it is that he has to say and respond to this. And guys, it's very important that we hear the position of a lot of these folks, because again, when you make a claim, you have to be able to back up why you made that claim. So the IGN guy, right? And I'm going to show you his little clip over here. When he made the claim, which is this one over here that Oliver Darko clipped, he alluded to the fact that there are more games being published on Xbox. Hence, Xbox is going to look attractive. That's his position. That's his argument. Let's hear how possibly Reforge might counter this argument and what evidence he has on the table. Let's go.
I'm not going to get into the intentions. I don't know why people are doing this. It could just be an innocent mistake. They could just be paraphrasing. Maybe they read a headline. Maybe they read somebody that they thought they could trust and they misunderstood. I don't know. I'd rather just say these things have been claimed. They're not true. Here's the truth. We don't need to get into a debate about,
Well, when you say something is not true, you at least have to say and claim why your position about it being true has evidence to back it up. That's how you do it. Because again, like I said, the gentleman who said that he thinks that the math is different because Activision and Bethesda and all these games and these companies are starting to basically under Xbox are launching games, whereas PlayStation doesn't have as many games in the works or in production or even by studio capacity. He thinks that Xbox is better poised. He's reasoning through it and he's giving his own ideas. We'll do a quick short clip so we can hear what he said
that
as
would
well.
make sense,
The math is different
I think.
than it was this generation. Like, they own Activision Blizzard. Like, that's incredible. They own Bethesda. Like, this is completely different than what we had going into the last generation. So whether or not that had an effect on the past, 5-year cycle, it doesn't matter. It will have an effect in the future because in
So he's saying
2 years, a lot more of those companies will be having games hit market as Microsoft products.
that's pretty much his argument. There are going to be more Microsoft games. It's going to have an effect next time that we're talking about this. And already we're seeing the cumulative effect. All these games that you're seeing here that are Bethesda games, they're going to stay here. These partnerships, they're going to continue to expand. You're going to see Game Pass grow in library size as games are coming and going while Xbox is building its own library. I think he has a case. I think he makes a strong point. Now, you've heard him. Let's hear Mr. Reforge.
Motivation, and is there some type of an effort going on, to mislead the public?
Reforge, that has nothing to do with the claim that he made. He's made his claim based on concrete, substantive, verifiable evidence that Xbox currently, and as they've planned in the future, has more content on deck at hand right now, planned in the future coming, and this is going to set them apart, that people are going to look and say, what is going to be the impact of this? And they're looking at the impact in the future, whereas PlayStation doesn't have that much. Has nothing to do with motivation or misleading anybody. Why? Because people can go verify for themselves. Because they could ask the questions and say, does Xbox have more games than PlayStation coming, planned, on deck, on hand? Question mark. And they can say, let's go look. And when they go look, what are they going to find? They're going to find that there are actually more games because they were calculated. In fact, not only are there new games coming, there are old games going to PlayStation in an effort to launch more titles and put Xbox on that publisher level in terms of a higher scope. I see already that this might be interesting. Keep listening, though.
I think it happens to such a degree, it's hard not to think that there is something going on, that there is some kind of an organized effort to obfuscate and confuse. I felt that very severely during ABK coverage. I felt it a whole lot last year as Xbox was changing its strategy. And now I've really felt it. They're turning the heat up again. It's like PS5 Pro got so much strange coverage from people.
Bro, no one's out to get you, man. Forget it. If you really think that everyone's out to get you because they're criticizing PlayStation, then I'd say, by all means, let's remove ourselves from the conversation. Let's focus on the arguments. They are much more important in this case.
And strange opinions from people. We're even now seeing opinions that, like, PlayStation's been the more disappointing platform this gen. And I'm like, what? World is just so upside down. You can have your own opinion, that's fine, but to summarize the last 5 years in a way to make somebody think that, like, being on Xbox is a better position right now, I don't understand why you would want the public thinking that. That feels incredibly that just doesn't feel like a fair take.
Excuse me. Why would he want the public to think that Xbox is a better ecosystem to game on? He already said it. Because they've got games. Like, I mean, I'm just literally going like the argument. This is why these PlayStation fans, when they come on the channel and start acting up, this is why many of them, they basically lose their minds. Because I'm like a heat seeker when it comes to the truth. Insult my mommy, insult my father, I don't care. I just want the truth from you. So when they dance around and run around and try to basically, not address the situation at hand, I just stay on the topic. Sir Reforge, it will be nice if you would actually say why you think his position is there to obfuscate or mislead the public. What is he saying that cannot be corroborated? And what is your counter argument to what he's saying and the evidence that he's provided? This would help the conversation heavily.
Doesn't feel like you're accurately trying to tell people what to do as a consumer. Who said the PlayStation's been the most disappointing this gen? I'm not interested in who said it, because then I'll get accused of using someone's name for clicks.
We don't care. Just go for the argument. We don't care about the name. Just, let's just say it was a tree. Let's just say it was a pot, a potted plant inside of the IGN office that made that argument. Okay, let's not forget the guy that said it. Let's just say it was a potted plant, so that way nobody can accuse you of going after, some plant that was, by the windowsill in an IGN office somewhere.
Which I don't do. So I'd rather just talk about what was said.
Perfect.
What was said was essentially that, like, that Xbox is in a better position. I don't understand that.
Okay, tell us why.
I don't. Dollars to value right now, you're so much better off either buying the Pro or a really good PC. I don't know why anybody would try to give the impression that, like, PlayStation's in a bad spot or disappointing, or like Xbox is in a better spot. I'm like,
but that argument is besides the point. I mean, guys, He said games. He said, did this man not just say games? Did he not talk about Activision? What hardware does Activision make? Did he not talk about Bethesda? What hardware does Bethesda make?
Xbox has basically invalidated any reason to be on their hardware.
He said ecosystem. What? Or he was insinuating their ecosystem because they got games. Right? And he said from a future perspective, it may not have an impact now, but a future perspective,
those companies will be having games hit market as Microsoft products. And that's going to change things up. There is no equivalent of that going on with Sony and Nintendo.
There's no equivalent of that going in with Sony and Nintendo. Like, you get into an ecosystem where you can actually play games. No one's talking about just the hardware. He even pointed Nintendo, saying even people might look at Xbox and look at Nintendo and be like, man, Xbox is doing something cool here. He didn't even just call out PlayStation. He called Nintendo too. The guy is going for everybody. This is why I told y'all that I would not draw these conclusions. But dude is bold, man.
Cite your source? I don't need to cite a source because I'm not trying to prove something. I'm saying...
But you are trying to disprove something, hence trying to prove the thing that prove the thing that you're saying to show that what he's saying is not true. People called this guy to cite a source and he said he didn't need to cite a source.
Something was said in the public that I don't agree with. That's all I have. I don't need to cite a source when I'm doing that. Citing a source makes sense when you're trying to argue evidentially that something is factual.
But he argued evidentially that his position made sense because of the material evidence that we have on hand. Bro, help me. I'm trying to help you, bro. Like, yo.
I'm saying this opinion, this summary was uttered. I don't agree with that summary. I don't agree with that.
Tell us why.
If you think that you're way better off being on the Xbox hardware, go ahead, I guess. But to like tell the public that's where they should go, or that's where they should be, or that's where there's more value, I think that's objectively untrue. You can demonstrate.
But you just told the public that they were better off on the PlayStation or PC. You didn't tell us why. He literally just did that. Did not tell us why. And he's accusing this gentleman of, well, the pot on the window. Sorry, let's not call anybody's name. That, oh, goodness.
Straight that's objectively untrue.
Objectively, while you have nothing to back up your own claim that it is untrue. I'm done. I don't know how y'all have been doing this all these years, man. I salute every Xbox fanboy out there, man. You guys have got fortitude. I'm out of here, man. Thank you so much. I couldn't even do it. I tried, guys. I tried. Peace out.